Have a good day. This is the chapter Heredity and Evolution. Although I am making this chapter for class 10 and it will helpful for preliminary preparation for class 12 also. Today I will explain about whole of the chapters Heredity and Evolution. I will try to sum up in 20 to 25 minutes, and just the sum up I am showing you. So whenever heredity and evolution, then we need the whole history of Mendel, then about the several pairs of contrasting traits, this is the several pairs of contrasting traits, then the monohybrid cross, then dihybrid cross. Whenever we will study about the heredity, then we have to think about the Mendel, and Mendel is called the father of genetics. Gregor Johann Mendel was born in 1822 in Brno, now Czechoslovakia, that is Czech Republic. So he described the mechanism of transmission of characters from one generation to another generation. Because he has studied in mathematics and somewhat physics, so he has calculated the products and calculated in mathematical and statistical manner. So his research paper, Experiment on Plant Hybridization, was published in the Proceedings of Natural History of Brno in 1866. But his work remained unnoticed for 34 years. That means in 1900, three scientists, you try to remember the names: De Vries, Correns and Schermack. Hugo De Vries of Holland, Karl Correns of Germany and Erich von Schermack. This spelling is Schermack, T is silent here, Schermack, of Austria, independently rediscovered and given two laws: law of segregation and law of independent assortment. The successive slides I will explain the names and the two laws. So try from here, you try to remember the three scientists who has rediscovered independently. They have independently done from three different countries, that is De Vries, Correns and Schermack, and they have given the honor to Mendel and given the name as the Mendel's law and Mendel's law of inheritance. Actually, at that time, Mendel's research paper has not come in the notice, since at that time Charles Darwin, an English scientist, his observations are very much dominant and his paper are kept in the bin or the dustbin, that is, and then after 34 years his paper has been published, rediscovered and re-established and given the law of Mendel's law. Mendel has taken 7 characters, different contrasting traits, and he has selected pea plant. Since pea plant is available everywhere and its lifespan is also very short, it can be completed in very easily its life. Pea plant can be fertilized, cross fertilization also can be done and self fertilization also can be done. Its annual nature of the plant, then formation of a large number of seeds for each plant. And what are the characters he has taken? The seed, flower, pod and stem. For seed he has taken round yellow colors flower, that is the either white or violet. So white is dominant, violet is recessive. Pod form full and constricted. Color of the pod is yellow and green. Here you see yellow is dominant and green is recessive. We will take these two characters into consideration. Then the size, that means tall and dwarf. Tall is dominant and dwarf is recessive. So now I am explaining the monohybrid cross which has given by Mendel. So Mendel has taken pure tall plant and pure dwarf plant. He has seen in his garden, that is a pure tall and pure dwarf. He has given capital T for pure or homozygous tall, and small t is the dwarf plant. So tall and dwarf plant, this is the tall and dwarf plant, symbolically I have shown. Later on I will show the slide for the photograph. So this capital T is homozygous tall. It may be male or may be female. It may be male or it may be female. This is symbol for female, this is symbol for male. So if it is male, then these are the antherozoids, and if it is female, then these are the oogonium or eggs. So gametes of P1 generation, that is P1 is the parental generation, capital T and dwarf small t. So whenever this one will fertilize, that is they will cross, then in the first filial generation, that is F1 generation, he has observed all plants are tall. This is his first observation, all plants are tall, that is no dwarf plant come. And then he has crossed the F1 hybrids. Actually in F1 he has later on explained, that is the F1, both of them are the hybrid tall, and that is small dwarf plants character is there, but it cannot show. It cannot show, next I will explain, that is it cannot show, therefore one is dominant, another is recessive. That is the first law, that is the dominant and recessive, or law of dominance. But in independent assortment, that is the second law, what he has explained, that is these are independently staying. This is not mix up with the capital T. That is tall characters and dwarf characters, they are not mix up. If it is mix up, then we should get an in between characters, but we are not getting in between characters. In F2, that is the second generation, F2 generation, he has got one pure tall, two hybrid talls and one dwarf. That is one dwarf has reappeared. Although in the F1 generation there was no dwarf plants. So in F2 generation what happens, that is first filial generation from F1, these are the gametes of F1, capital T, capital T, small t, and ultimately after crossing it, he has observed by his calculation, that is pure tall is only 25% and hybrid tall is 50% and pure dwarf is 25%. Now here you see all the three plants phenotypically, all these three plants phenotypically, that is by external characters we cannot distinguish them as the which one is pure, which one is the hybrid, and smaller one it can be identified easily, that is tall, 3 tall and 1 dwarf. So from here we can take the law of dominance. Law of dominance means this is not mixing. Dominant character, that is a tall character here is dominant. So if dominant character is capital T, that is capital T is only showing its characters, that is tallness. Capital T is showing their tallness instead of present of the small t. Although small t, that is the female, that is the smaller characters is present, but it cannot show its characters since a capital T dominant character is there. Whenever there is no dominant character, only then it is showing the dwarf plant. So it was the observations of Mendel's monohybrid cross. Whenever he has considered only one characters, whenever he has taken two characters, then it is the dihybrid cross. I will show you dihybrid cross. Just now try to remember, that is the dwarfness is reappearing due to the individual assortment, that is they are assorting themselves separately, they are not mixing up, that is the law of segregation, that is they are segregated or separated. Next you see the slide. This is the picture I am showing you. Now come to the dihybrid cross. He has considered two characters, yellow and round. He has taken the characteristics of seed. So he has seen most of the seeds are yellow and round. Thus he has taken yellow color and shape. Color of the seed is yellow and shape of the seed is round. So yellow round he has taken dominant, and green wrinkle, very few are there green and wrinkled, some are there yellow wrinkled and green wrinkled, and very few is green wrinkled. So he has taken two characters, therefore it is called dihybrid cross. So capital Y for yellow, or capital R for round. So and small y is for green, because this is recessive character. Smaller and smaller for wrinkled, that is the opponent of round. Opponent of yellow is green. Next, gametes of F1 is coming capital Y, capital R, capital Y, capital R, here small y smaller, small y smaller. Then in F1 generation, he has got all are yellow round, yellow and round. These are actually hybrid, that means green and wrinkle totally abolished. There was no green and no wrinkled seed in the first generation, that is F1 generation or first filial generation. Then he has crossed these two yellow round seeds, and what was his finding? Yellow round seeds, these are the gametes of F1 generation. That is in the F1 generation, these are the gametes, these are the male gametes and these are the female gametes. Earlier as we have seen, this is male, this is female, and these are the same types of gametes are formed, capital Y capital R, capital Y smaller, small y capital R and small y smaller. Here also same things. And then he has make the checkerboard. In the checkerboard, this is the male and this is the female, and after crossing capital Y, capital R, capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital R. Here capital Y, capital R, smaller, capital Y, capital R, smaller, like this he has made the checker list. And the checkerboard, as Mendel has done in his time, in his experiment, these were the number. He has taken 556 seeds, and out of that he has got 315 yellow round, 108 yellow wrinkled, 101 green round and 32 green wrinkled. And that was also ratio. Here also we have find, that means the second that is the dihybrid cross, that is yellow round 9 numbers are there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So here we will get yellow round, this is yellow wrinkled. So ultimately here we are getting the yellow round 9, yellow wrinkled 3 and green wrinkled 3 and green round 3, sorry, green round 3 and green wrinkled is 1, only 1 green wrinkled. So ultimately out of 16 we are getting the ratio, therefore it is called the dihybrid ratio. Dihybrid ratio or Mendel's dihybrid ratio is 9:3:3:1. Now you see the color chart where he has done the same experiment. Now try to remember the law of dominance and law of segregation. So in the law of dominance it is told the phenomenon of expression of only one allele out of the two alleles present in a heterozygous or hybrid individual. That is, whatever we are getting in F1 or first filial generation in monohybrid cross, you see first filial generation, you see the earlier picture, that is in the first filial generation we have got both the heterozygous individuals or hybrid individuals. The alleles which express its effect in the hybrid is called dominant factor or allele. The other allele which is unable to show its effect in the hybrid is known as recessive factor or allele. So, in F1 generation we have got capital T and small t, and the organism or the plant was tall. Although it is phenotypically tall, but genotypically it is mixed, but the tall is dominant character, it is not the recessive character. Recessive character is dwarf. You see the recessive character is dwarf, but showing the dominant character, that is the character of capital T, but small t is recessive, it is not showing its character, it will show in the next generation, that is in the F2 generation, but first generation we are getting only the tall. So, this law tells about these things. Probably you are clear about the law of dominance, that is dominant only one character will show its characters and other character cannot show its character. This is the law of dominance. Therefore, I have given the example. In the law of segregation, that is separated, what happens? The two factors of a character which are together in an individual separate randomly at the time of gamete formation. As a result, a gamete contains only a single characters or single allele. So, capital T small t, this is the character of the individual, and whenever it will forms the gametes, this will separate individually capital T and small t. For example, if a plant is tall, heterozygous tall, if we will take the antheridium, that is a male gamete, then the antherozoids or sperm will form two types, capital T types and small t types. Or if I will take the example of female, then the eggs will be capital T and small t, two different types of, here is no mix up, the gamete there is no mix up, they are separate and randomly they have separated each other. So, probably you have learned about the law of dominance and law of segregation. This is about all your heredity and evolution part. In the next video I will give, because we cannot increase the length of the video. So, you please subscribe my channel for getting the newer videos. So, what we have learned today? Today we have learned about the Mendel's and the work of Mendel, why he has selected pea plant, then his work, what work he has done, then Mendel's experimental materials, then how Mendel's theory has been re-established. You try to remember how he re-established his theories. Then Mendel's experiment on Pisum sativum or P, then the monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross, and the two laws, it is the law of dominance and law of segregation. Okay, for today, up to this, stay well.